My name is Sue Sweetek. I'm the owner of Hubba Hubba Foods in York, Maine. Today we're going to be doing something a little bit different for us. We're doing something sweet. And we're going to follow along with this recipe, Sweetie Pie Cruffins. And if you have ever met me at a fair or a festival or placed an online order, those recipe cards look familiar to you because you get one with every one of your spice blends. So we are going to get started. First of all, we're going to prepare the counter. I have clean hands. I washed them right before we got started. And we are going to sprinkle 2 tablespoons of flour on the counter to prevent our dough from sticking. There's 1, 2, okay, excellent. Let's get that out of our way. And now to our dough. I am using store-bought refrigerated crescent dough. And this comes 2 ways. It comes as a full sheet or it comes perforated into crescent rolls. My preference is to get the full sheets, but if it's not available at your store, don't worry, just use the perforated one. And when you unroll it, just pinch all the little perforations together. So let's get this open. And we are going to pop it with a spoon. Okay, now, every single time I do this, I always wind up tearing the dough. It's not a big deal because it is very, very easy to fix that. So we are going to unroll this from the package. There we go. I love how stretchy this dough is. Okay, 1 down. We are going to unroll it on top of the flour. There we go. And you can see I've got some tears. It's not a big deal. I am just going to pinch it together. So if you had bought the perforated dough, this is where you would pinch together. Perfect. Okay, so now, next step. We are going to coat this dough with butter. I mean, butter makes everything better, right? So I've melted this butter. It's 2 tablespoons of butter. I have melted it in the microwave. Do it very carefully, 15 seconds at a time, because often when you microwave butter, it can explode in the microwave and make a mess. So do it in very tiny increments and stir it in between until it is completely melted. And we are using all of this butter on top of the dough. So go ahead and use it all up, get it all in there. Oh my goodness, okay. Oh, by the way, in case I didn't mention this, this is salted butter. When I make sweet things, I do like to make sure I use salted butter because a little bit of salt actually helps bring up the flavors. The next thing we're going to do is do our filling. And this is 1/3 cup of brown sugar. I have tightly packed, using my hands, packed it into the measuring cup, and that is 1/3 cup, oh, it doesn't want to come out, 1/3 cup of brown sugar. And here's our flavor bomb. This is where all the flavor is going to come from, our Sweetie Pie spice. This is a mixture of cinnamon, nutmeg, cloves, ginger, and cardamom. And we're putting 2 teaspoons of that spice in with our sugar. And this is going to be the filling in our rolls. So we're going to give that a stir. And you can see that I am pressing down with my spoon before I stir it up because brown sugar can tend to have some lumps. And so what I like to do is press with the back of the spoon as I'm mixing to make sure those lumps get broken up. I wish that you could smell this right now. The Saigon cinnamon is so fragrant, and it is going to give so much flavor to these rolls. So now we are going to put our sugar mixture inside our rolls. So we are going to sprinkle this all over our dough. Try to get it as even as you can. And as you can imagine, when we bake this, it is all going to melt and create an ooey gooey cinnamon roll center, like those wonderful cinnamon rolls you get at the airport. Look at that. Oh my goodness. Lovely. Okay. So now we've got our filling in, and now we're going to take a second roll of crescent roll dough and open that up. There we go. We got the pop. And we are going to put this dough on top of the sugar mixture, and we're going to basically make a brown sugar and sweetie pie sandwich out of the dough. So here it comes right out of the package. And let's get this unrolled. I just have to find the end. Okay, there we go. And we are going to unroll this. Like I said, it does not matter if you have a tear. Oh, okay, unroll. There we go. So we've made that sugar sandwich of dough. Let's get this all covered up at the end. Beautiful. Okay, next step. I have here a bench scraper. This is what I like to use, but I have done this completely with my hands. So if you don't have one, that's perfectly fine. And we are going to roll this up. And we want to try and get it as tight as we can. There we go. I'm going to use my hands. And as we're going, you'll see some of the flour from the counter. I do brush a little bit of it off as we go, and you can see the flour did its job. It is not sticking to the counter. Okay, so now we have got basically a big snake of dough. And again, I'm going to take my bench scraper. We're going to cut this into 6 pieces. First, we cut in half. I'm just going to eyeball it. If you don't have a bench scraper, just use a sharp knife. Now, each half is going to get cut into 3 pieces. Again, just eyeball it. You don't need to get out a ruler. Okay, so now I've got 1 tablespoon of butter melted, and we are going to butter 6 of the little holes in our muffin tin. There we go. This is going to make sure that it does not stick, although it is a non-stick pan, but I still, because there's so much sugar in there, you want to make sure that these come out of the pan when you're ready to eat. And you may notice there is a little bit of butter still left here. We are going to use that at the end. Okay, so here's our lovely swirl of our dough with the sugar and sweetie pie inside. We are going to put these in our buttered muffin tin, like that. Okay, and that last little bit of butter, we're gonna dab it on top, keep these from drying out. Look at that. Now I have preheated the oven to 350 degrees. We're gonna put this on the middle shelf. Beautiful. And we're gonna bake it for about 20 to 25 minutes. You're gonna check it at 20 minutes and take it out when it gets golden brown, and I've got one ready for you. Okay. There we go. They rose up. Our sugar melted, as you can see. It's So fragrant. I can smell the cinnamon and the nutmeg, and I'm gonna pop one out and see if it's cool enough for me to taste. Let's see, which one do I want? I think I'm gonna take this one right here with that beautiful swirl. Look at that. Oh my goodness. That looks wonderful. If you have an oven that is not a convection oven, you're gonna wanna turn that pan around halfway through, and that way they'll brown nice and evenly. Okay, this is my favorite part. If you're like me and you like to pull these apart, I don't know if you can see the steam coming out of there. Look at that, all that beautiful flavor. Oh my goodness. It's sweet. The brown sugar gives it a wonderful caramel flavor, and we've got all that wonderful cinnamon, nutmeg, even the cardamom's coming through. I hope you try this recipe. I've posted it in the comments. There's a link right there. Give it a try and let me know what you think. Enjoy.